What is up, guys? In today's video we're going to continue on this series and we're going to work on the projects page. So we're not working on the individual project, but we're working on the page where all of the projects will be displayed. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. Alright, so I've got the server up and running right now, and we can look at this here. And before we jump into finishing out this projects page, there's one thing that I want to fix. When we look at the mobile nav, here's the issue. So there's not enough space here like there's supposed to be. And the reason why is, we declared all of our padding correct, but we gave it a height that is just not able to use all that padding. So to fix that, what we're going to do is we're going to set that to auto, and now you'll see that gave us that extra room that we have in the design, and we can still use everything just how it's supposed to be. So I'm going to refresh that, and then let's go and actually change that in the code. And so that's going to be at one of these media queries somewhere. Where is it at? Here we go. We're going to change this to auto, and then we should be able to refresh this and it should drop down a little bit. There we go. Works good. All right. So now to move on to getting those projects in here and getting that all styled up. So let's take a look at our config.yaml. And we are going to need to add something here. So I don't want to use the typical posts that are in Jekyll. I want to use a collection. So let's go ahead and add a collection. All right, so to do this, we're going to write collections just like this. And then we're going to give it a name. So I'm just going to call this projects. And then in here, I'm going to say output true, just like that. And that should be sufficient right there. So since we modified our config.yaml file, we are going to have to restart our server. So let's go ahead and restart the server here. And once we restart this, nothing is going to happen because we haven't really done anything yet. So we need to create a folder here, and that folder is going to be underscore projects because that's the collection that we just made. I'm going to close out these other files. We don't need them. And in here, let's create one file. So I'm going to create this project 1.html. We're just going to do that, and then we're going to add some front matter. And I'm going to give it the layout of default, and save that. And let's see, let's open up the design real quick and see what we've got going on here. Where's a project at? Okay, so a project is going to consist of a few things, and we're not going to worry about this yet because we're not really getting to that yet. But as you do see, it does use the default layout where we've got the navigation and all that jazz. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at what we need here. So what do we need to declare as variables for this project right now? We'll add more once we get into this page, because I'm not going to build this as like a WYSIWYG or anything. I'm going to provide variables that can be set using forestry, and that's going to populate the page. So to look up here, a few of the things that we need is the project title, the location, the I don't know what we would call this, maybe like the category. Yeah, I think we should call that category, and then the date. And that'll be as specific as they want. But a couple other things that we also need, if we look down here, is the color for the project and then the color for the text, because it's possible that this color could be, a nice bright color like it is right now, and or a dark color, and this could need to be white instead. We don't know, so we need to provide that option. So I think that's 5 variables we need to declare: a title, a location, a category, a date, a background color, and the text color. That's actually 6. So let's go ahead and jump into the code real quick and declare this on this one project right now. So let's see, we need a title, which is going to be project name. We're just gonna do placeholder stuff right now because I want to create this one file, duplicate it a bunch of times, and then design that actual projects page where we list everything out. So we got the title, we have a location. So let's look at this. Let's just grab, I'll just grab this location. What's next? We got a category. We'll say brand identity. Look at this. Next thing we got a date. So we'll say date. We'll just do 2018 or 17, I think that was. Yep. And then we have a palette. Well, we have 2 colors now. So we can do let's do one for text color. And this can be, realistically, it can be RGB, RGBA, when you just name the color, like black or white or whatever, or it can even be a hex value. So for right now, I'm just going to say black. And then we also need, I'll do it up here, let's just do a project color. That's what we'll call it, project color. Okay, and then let's say it's pink. Okay, so we've got this project, we have those variables. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna open up the Finder real quick so we can grab that and just quickly duplicate those projects. So I'm just gonna paste. There. Okay, we've got a lot. They're all gonna say the same thing, and that's okay for now. I just want to populate that page a little bit. So let's go ahead and head on over to the projects.html, and you see we're including the nav here. That is actually something that we would have to do on the other page, like the individual project pages, but we're not going to do that. There's only one page that does not use the nav. So later on, we're going to actually go to that layout and we're going to say include the nav here unless it's the index.html page, because that's one of the ones that is not using the nav.html, in which case we will just not have it show up. All right, so let's get started here, and let's add a div with the class of, let's say, projects wrapper. That looks right. Close that off. And there we go. The next thing we want to do here is say it's the percent signs. I always get those confused. For project in site.projects, so the singular and then plural, we're going to do this code, and then we're going to end for. Okay, so what is in this code? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's going to be an anchor tag with an href equal to project.url. And then we're going to have some stuff here. So we can wait. Well, do I want to add that in now or not? I am not sure. Let's go ahead and see. We may as well. There's not that many things there. We've got, 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and these all have the same styling. This is the only one that does not. So I think I'm going to declare that. Maybe we'll declare this like an H3, and these as, should I do smalls? What is this here? This 18. And then this here. Yeah, we can declare it as a small, I guess. That works. All right, so we're going to have an H3. And then we're going to have a small. And we're going to have another small and another small. And we're just going to populate these with the variables. So this is going to be project.title. Let's copy all that. And this is going to be dot location. Then we have, what's the next one? Category, right? Oops. Yep, category and then date. Let's just make sure we're pulling the right ones. Category and date. You have nothing special. Category. And then date. All right, so now we've got this loop set up. We're going to loop through all of the projects, and we're going to set up an anchor tag with the project title, the location, category, and date. So let's go to our page and refresh it and see that nothing has happened. Now, why has nothing happened? We are on this page. We're saying project wrapper for project in site.projects. And then we're ending for. Okay, what is going on here? HTML does not have valid date. Okay, so it doesn't have a valid date, and that is the problem. I'm not going to terminate that. Let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to change that variable. Let's pull up the Finder. Delete all of these for now. All right, and then let's come back over here and change this to project date. That way it's not going to be using the typical date format from Jekyll right now. And then we'll change this here to be project.project date. So that should fix that problem. And let's just make sure it works before we go duplicate all that again. Okay. All right. So it looks like it generated, but I'm still not seeing any. Oh, there it is. It's hiding up there. That's why. This has got a white background set, so we can't really see it. So let's go ahead and now take this page and paste it a bunch of times, just like this. Good enough. Don't know how many times that is. It's like 18. So we have, as you can see, we have a bunch of projects here. All right, let's go ahead and check out our design and see what we got to do. So this is going to sit right here, and currently we have this positioned as absolute, so it's up to the top, and we're going to continue doing that. But another thing that we didn't do, and the reason we didn't do it is because we didn't have enough content to scroll. If we go to our SAS, modules, nav, position absolute, but we want this to really be fixed because we want that to scroll or stay there when you scroll. So now you see how it does that? That's exactly what we want. And let's just make sure it does this when it breaks. Yep, does it there too. Perfect. All right. So now what do we got to do? Let's look at the design. We got to build this box essentially, give it the proper padding, and then we'll turn it into a grid. So as you can see, it's sitting, well, it has padding on the left and right of 100 pixels. It has padding on the top of 114 pixels because it's got to sit away from that navigation. And then the bottom, we'll just make the bottom the same as the sides. So let's go to our code. I'll close that up. And where is our layouts? Right here. Let's create a new layout. So I'm just going to hit A to create a new file in layouts, and we're going to call this projects.sas. All right, now that we got that file created, let's go ahead and import that real quick. So it's going to be at import projects, just like that. And now let's go ahead and start giving this some styling. Let me grab this class and let's go. So first off, let's just hit display grid, get that out of the way. Let's set the padding to be, it's 114 pixels on the top, 100 pixels on the bottom. Oh, sorry, right? 100 on the bottom, 100 on the left. Let's see what that did. All right, so now that's sitting right in here, and that is the first one. Good. Let's, I think that's not gonna be stretching though, is it? No, see, it's just sitting. Well, that's too much space. Not enough space. Okay, so this is stretching, so that's good. What do we gotta do? All right, so let's go ahead and set our grid styling. So we're gonna do grid template columns. It's going to be repeat, auto fill, and min max of, let's do 150 pixels for the minimum, and then a maximum of 1 FR. Let's see if that works. Yes, that does. But dang, that is a lot of projects across that top. But that does work appropriately here. But let's go ahead and change that a little bit. So, and with media queries, we'll reduce the minimum size so that, you know, it all fits properly. So we want 4 to be across here. So let's bump this up to maybe like 250. Will that work? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A little more. 270. That's looking better. That's looking pretty right. Pretty correct. Alright, and then we gotta see that it's gonna break. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab that media query, and we gotta make one adjustment. Where is it at? It's gonna be in our index. Or no, we'll grab it from the nav. That's the most clear. So the first break here is at 1,000 pixels, it looks like. And then 875 pixels, we have another little break. And then we have another break at 550. So let's see what's going on. So the first one, right there, that looks like the first break. Let's see where that's at. Get a better reference. That is our 1,000 pixel break. Okay. So let's grab that media query. Go to our projects.sas. Write that in. And then here we're going to say projects wrapper. We're going to change our padding. And let's see what we should change that to. If we look over here, we'll see the padding adjust to that. So it's 0 on the top. But the only thing that actually changes here is the left and the right. So let's continue using the left and the top and the bottom. So it's going to be 114 pixels, and then the bottom is going to be the 100 pixels, or no, we're going to change that to be the same. So 1 rem. All right, so let's see. Now this should break and then move to the side. Yep, perfect. Yep, perfect. And then when we get down smaller, we want to adjust this so that, well, it's not just on one project per line here. So let's grab another break point. I think we're going to need something around here would probably work. So let's just grab that and see. We'll grab this piece of code. Let's call our projects wrapper. Paste that in, and then let's just change this to 150 pixels. All right, that's looking right. So we can fit a lot across there, which I think is fine. We're going to come down here and break. It's going to break again. It's going to break again. And then we go to more. So I don't like how that's doing that. Let's change the size of that break, or where that break is, I should say. All right. I think that's fine for now. We can play with that as we move along, but let's go ahead and continue working on some of our styling. So let's grab the anchor tag inside of there, because that is going to be our actual project. And let's go ahead and give it a border. Let's do 1 pixel solid black, see what that does. All right, it's good for the moment. Let's go ahead and give it a height. So the height, I think, is going to be like 270 pixels. There we go. We got a height going on there now. So now we can even see how this works. It's looking pretty good. Looking good. All right. All right, so we've got this grid here now, but I don't want these lines doubling up. So let's try and get a little creative with this here. Let's come over here and let's do a border right and a border bottom for each one of these. And now you'll see that all of these lines are nice and thin. And then now we just have this one missing gap up on the top and the left. So now we can come over here to our projects wrapper and give it a... So now we can come over here to our projects... So now we can come over here to our projects wrapper and give it a border top of 1 pixel solid, and then a border left of that 1 pixel solid, if I can type. And now that's not going to do anything because that's pushed over there. So we do need to change this from, whoops, where'd that go? From padding to margin. I'll change that here as well. And then now you'll see it all lines up perfectly there. And let's see if this continues to work as it shrinks. And it does. And no one will be the wiser. So let's see. Let's go ahead and give these a little bit of styling now. All right, let's display this as flex. I'm gonna say flex direction column and justify content flex end, and that should push it down to the bottom, which it does, and it does that exactly how I want. So now I'm going to set the color to our variable of black. Good. Let's remove our text decoration. Say none. Awesome. Now we can go ahead and start giving it some of that styling that we have. So it looks like we are 16 pixels from the left and 16 pixels from the bottom. So let's go ahead and add that in. So where's the code? We'll go here and we'll say padding of, let's just do 1 rem. Go back, take a look at this. All right, it did shift things around. So let's go ahead and I'm going to declare on both of these box sizing border box. And then here we'll do box sizing border box. And now that shrinks up nicely. Good. That's exactly what we want. And what we're going to do right now is we're essentially just going to add the padding in between these items here. So let's see how much we need. So it looks like it's 8 pixels between everything. So let's go ahead and see what we currently have with our styling. Because I think this is the only one that has any difference that's got margin. So we're going to set the margin to 0 on that. And then we'll add that padding in between there. First, let's just set margin to 0 here and see if that changes it. No, it does not. But we have an H3 and we have a small. So we're going to make this really simple and say margin 0. And then we're going to do padding. We'll just do it like this. Padding is going to be 0.5 rem, 0, 0, 0. And then that should line everything up just perfectly. Okay. So that does look good. I don't like that break. So I think we need to have maybe a couple breaks here. That's fine. That's fine. That does not need to be quite like that. So let's come here and right here at this 875 pixels, let's just drop this down to like maybe 200 pixels. So now that only takes us down to 4. So we've got, that'll be as many as we need. And then it comes here and continues to break and then break and then breaks again. But then we have this jump. So let's see. I don't want to have that jump. Maybe we can up this to 1,000 pixels. Well, before we do that, let's just go ahead and grab this and paste this in here and see if we can get this to change on that initial break. What happens? We're good. We're good. 3. It breaks, goes to 4, which makes sense. And then we continue to come down and come down. And then by the time we get to here, which I don't think is quite that large, then we can make this the 150. So this is going to need to be maybe like 500. Does that? All right, there's a really random jump right there. So let's make this 475. Yeah, there we go. That's looking pretty nice. All right, so now that we've got this grid set up here, we've got all the styling exactly how we want it. I think we're good for right now. We are going to try and do some other styling to this, like, you know, once you visited the link and whatnot, but we'll worry about that in just a little bit. We're not going to do that in this video. We just wanted to go ahead and get this page laid out. So in the next video, we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to lay out this page and get it set up, and then we're probably going to add that statement to our default layout, that if it's not the index page, it will have the navigation, and then if it is the index page, it won't. So this is looking pretty good. This is looking very close to the design, and it's fun. I like learning new things. So thanks for learning with me. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Next week we're going to continue here and we're going to work on the individual project pages. And with that we're going to finish up some styling that we didn't do today. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And if you like the content that I'm creating on this channel, head on over to my Patreon account at patreon.com/Zachary R. Newton, where you can help support this channel and help me create better videos every week. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.